Welcome to 2.5 Brains vlog, talking all about the premiere episode of The Amazing Race. As always, be sure to subscribe so you never miss anything, any Survivor, any Amazing Race content, or anything else that we're going to do. Subscribe right below. Email the show, pavementproductions@gmail.com, and you can tweet me at YoGrabbaGabba, and find this page on Facebook at facebook.com/pavementproductions. Email the show, tweet me, and be sure to subscribe, comment away, share the post, let everybody know that you're watching. So, I'd like to have let's bring my co-host for the show, for the Amazing Race vlog, bring in Mr. Beback.
Hey-ho!
Welcome. So, we are here to talk about the premiere episode. Mr. Beback, tell me real quick, what are your thoughts? What did you think about the first episode of the season?
Good premiere. Nice intro to the teams. They went to Japan.
Yep.
And certainly going to be interesting as follows.
For sure. So definitely will be good. I'm definitely excited about it. We'll see how the season turns out. The previews look pretty interesting. Anyway, we missed the previews. Spoiler alert for that. They said they're going to have a U-turn vote. So they're going to vote somebody to be U-turned, which is really exciting.
That's new.
Yeah, it's
That's exciting.
Certainly new. So we'll see how that goes, but definitely an exciting episode. Some teams really stood out in good ways. Some teams really stood out in bad ways, as always. We're talking all about it here. So how this works, if anybody's new to this, we've been doing this coverage as frequently, because it's only once a year, as opposed to Survivor is more. This is a newer thing that we're doing. We're going to talk all about the roadblocks, talk about what happened this episode. We're going to talk about why the losing team lost, and we're going to talk about the power rankings of who did what. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Doesn't mean that they're these are teams in order that they finished, because it's definitely not. It's just kind of how we feel about these teams going forward. Who's going to be good? Who's going to be bad? Who's moving up? Like I said, a lot of times the team who's the top of the power rankings ends up getting knocked out, midway through or near the end. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It doesn't mean it's even our winner predictions at this point. But just kind of who had the first, the best week going forward, or week one, and then kind of who we think is going to continue the trend and who's maybe not. Also, again, the team who wins isn't always necessarily the first team. It's just kind of, with this being week one, it's kind of hard to say who's doing well consistently. But also, you can kind of base it on the track records of the teams, who does well, who doesn't. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's talk about, as always, we'll start off with the first part of this, which is the roadblocks. Talk about the roadblocks this week, and be back telling me about the first episode and the roadblock, which was the first one, which was eat your shoe.
Yes, it was. They had to go. Once they got a clue, they had to go to a shop and bite into a wooden shoe. Now, most of these shoes were wood, but on some of these shoes, it was a wafer that was. It was a wafer that that actually tasted like chocolate.
Exactly. So,
and once they got one of the chocolate shoes, they got their next clue.
Yeah, and they had to split it and eat it, and it was interesting. It was definitely a lot of Japanese game shows type stuff this week, and I think the longest team that went was Nick and Vic went 41 times biting into wood, bit into 40 pieces of freaking wood before they found their chocolate. So that was quite interesting, and how that turned out. But it was definitely an interesting roadblock. One player did the one, and then the second roadblock, which we're talking about right now. Second roadblock, which of course was the slip and slide, sliding go up and down a water slide.
That represented Mount Fuji.
Yes, exactly. And the other members of the team had to do that one. So both members of the team getting in on the action week one. Talk about the second roadblock.
They had to climb up the water slide that represented Mount Fuji to grab their next clue.
Yes, and it was struggles for some teams. Some teams did really poorly, some teams did really well. Brett LaBelle did really well his first time up, and then forgot the clue, slid back down, and had to go back up, and then he was winded and wet. Couldn't do it. The Afghanimals did well, but they took them a while to realize that they had to keep their hands dry so they could actually reach for the holds to climb up. But it was definitely an interesting one. Again, they went up the slide, and then they had to grab the clue and slide down. So it was definitely a unique challenge. It was cool how they started too. They had a giant octopus on the ground, and they had to dig through the octopus to find in the sand to find the first clue. And the teams who got out early seemed to hold their lead most of the way through. So it was definitely an interesting first episode, and we'll see how it goes going forward. But two cool roadblocks, in my opinion. What do you think?
I liked them.
Yeah.
Just like you said, typical Japanese game show type stuff, and certainly test their physical and mental will. And we'll see how they go. We'll see how it progresses going forward.
For sure. And I think that was interesting too. I liked it was they had the water slide and they had biting into the shoe. It was very sliding. Very Japanese game show where they a lot of water, a lot of falling, a lot of goofiness. So it was neat. It was a neat start. It's a couple of unique challenges, and Leo and Jamal redeemed themselves. They got eliminated last time in Japan. This time they came out in first place. So definitely excited about that. Let's transition though to the team who didn't finish in first place. The team who finished in last place, Art and JJ. So Mr. Beback, tell me about Art and JJ. Tell me how you feel about them and what their leg was like.
They had a very difficult leg. They got eliminated because they took a penalty.
For sure.
They could not make it up the water slide, so they took a penalty, and that's what ultimately led to them losing.
For sure. And it was tough because they said their first time out, they were one challenge away from winning the leg, and they fell apart. Win the whole race. They were about to win the Amazing Race the first time playing, and they just messed up in the last challenge, and it was a super simple thing, and they messed it up, and they ended up losing.
And it showed that in their intro.
And it did, and they they're now a little bit older, 7 years older each, and they just didn't have the physical strength to continue. So this section we're going to talk about why Art and JJ lost. Ms. Beback kind of already touched on it, but I feel like it was an issue of, I've seen it happen once. I remember it was the one team Amazing Race a few seasons ago. There was Miami. There was twins from girls from Miami. They're real estate agents. One was married to an NFL agent, and they took a penalty. The three of them. It was that team and two other teams all got the last challenge together, and they knew they couldn't do it, so they took a penalty each, got their clue, and then raced the finish line. That team lost, but it's tough it's a tough decision to make to do that. But I think part of it, so why did they lose? I think part of it was just that the guy got hurt. Here's his ankle. He couldn't climb. His arm or his leg was hurting him. His foot was hurting him. He's cramping up, and he just couldn't. He didn't have the strength to continue. So I feel like a 4-hour penalty, you never want to take a 4-hour penalty, especially when you're second last, because you know that the other team's going to eventually catch up to you unless something catastrophic happens, which Rupert and Laura made. And
after all, it was Rupert, so I could see why you take the penalty there.
For sure, absolutely. For sure, no doubt about that. And you're not the most graceful and not good directions. And on Survivor, you just kind of stay on the island, so it's a little bit different.
Well, it's like all the teams are saying. This is way harder than Survivor, and because this race is just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And you're in a foreign country, language barrier, trying to get anybody who speaks English.
Yeah. It's tough. There's a lot of luck involved in it for sure too, and like I said, but the 4-hour penalty, it's hard to blame them because I feel like if they would have tried 100 more times, he was just going to get more and more sore. His ankle was going to hurt, and he wasn't going to get there anyway. So it's either you take the 4-hour penalty or you keep trying and they pass and you eliminate anyways. Personally,
and possibly get hurt.
Personally, I hate taking that 4-hour penalty. I'd rather just keep trying and that they pass us. But you don't know. You don't know how far they are behind. They could be lost for another 3-4 hours. By the time they catch up to you, your penalty's over and you're there. So it's a tough decision. But in the end, the injury was, I think, the bigger issue than the 4-hour penalty. I think if they wouldn't have taken the 4-hour penalty, they probably would have taken close to 4 hours to finish it with the injury anyways. So why did Art and JJ lose? Simple. just they were not in physical shape enough to do it. They got hurt, and that was the end of it. So that's, I would say, why Art and JJ lost. Anything to add to that?
Nope. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on now. So this is the best, most fun part of the show for me. This is the roadblock, or the power
rankings.
Yeah, power rankings. So we're
don't even know your own content.
I know. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in here to the top, the 10 remaining teams who are still in the race, and how we feel about them. Where they're ranked, how they're doing, and this is where we spend a little bit of time diving into each of the teams. So let's go ahead and start with team number 10 on the power rankings. Mr. Beback, tell me who it is, because you already know.
Rupert and Lara.
Are you shocked?
No, not at all.
Are you shocked they're not good at this race?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. I mean, they're wearing they're big people wearing tie-dye shirts in Japan, and they get lost. How do you get lost? I mean, anybody can point you out and say, "Hey, they don't fit in here. Let's see what they're doing, what they need." They just have no sense of direction. They are complete buffoons. No offense, but they're complete and total idiots. And hey, they combined to lose Survivor 5 times. Now they're going to lose the Amazing Race too. So good for them. I'm actually glad that they didn't get eliminated, just because we can see more buffoonery. I'm looking forward to it. More just complete and total nonsense.
But like John Cena and Roman Reigns, they might kick out at 2 again.
And they might, and they're gonna. I hope that they're on the show for a couple more weeks, so we can just keep laughing at them. Because it's always fun. There's always that dodo team, and they're definitely it. I mean, they're definitely a bunch of dodos. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm absolutely looking forward to it, and I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what is next. So let's go ahead and then talk about team number 9 on this list. It is Corinne and Eliza. So the Survivor team's back-to-back here. Why Corinne and Eliza? What did they do? What did they struggle with? How was their leg?
They struggled with the shoe eating.
For sure.
And
I mean, it was both. They start off behind though, right? They got behind early. They weren't great with direction. They got lost. But they're both in decent physical shape.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I can say. That's definitely a good thing for them that they can handle that. So it's that's whatever. I mean, they did what they needed to do. But I feel like they're gonna again, they're entertaining, no doubt. But I don't feel good about their chances.
I love the intro. They're insulting all the teams, but Taco only get you so far in this game.
For sure. And then, Corinne was like near the top of the mountain. She said, "How if I can make it? I don't know if I can make it." And then she did. She pursued and got there. But I mean, they're 37 and 41 years old. They're whatever they are. They're not young. They're not old by any means, but they're definitely not in great shape. I hope they do well. I root for them. I like them both. I like them both as Survivor players. I like them both as characters. But I just don't. I don't know if they're gonna do great. I'm glad they didn't get eliminated first. They would have been really tough for them, but I don't see them lasting more than 3 or 4 weeks. Any other thoughts on that?
Move on.
All right. So let's talk then about the next team we have here, which was team Brittany and Janelle. Yes, team Brittany and Janelle. Brittany and Janelle. What did you think about them? Kind of forgetful.
Yes.
I mean, they were all right. I mean, they didn't do anything great. They were kind of just so. I mean, they're the two blonde girls who just were former Big Brother players, and they did okay. They did decent in the challenges, but again, they just didn't seem like they brought much to the table. I don't really remember much about them. So other than that,
that's why you're at the bottom.
Right. Again, I can't really remember them. They didn't do anything spectacular. They didn't flame out in a massive way. They were just kind of there. They finished middle of the pack, a little bit lower part of the pack, and so that's kind of how I feel about them so far. Nothing really to report home about on them. The next team we're talking about is team 7 on this list is
Nick and Vic.
Nick and Vic, yeah, Nicole and Victor. So I don't know. The reason I put them here is I feel like there's 2 players on this team who are decent. Or 2 players on this team, one's decent, one's a joke. And you can probably guess which one's a joke. And the joke is the one who ate 40 freaking pieces of wood before he found his freaking clue. And that is Victor. He Nicole tried to get rid of him 3 times in Big Brother. She finally ended up getting rid of him, and he won the game. And she won the game, and somehow they're together. I don't get that pairing at all. They don't seem to make any sense. But hey, what the heart wants, I guess. But they make no sense. I don't get them. I think Nicole's gonna do what she can to carry this team, and they're just gonna fall apart. There was a team last season that was the Baywatch team, where the girl did 95% of the work and the guy did nothing. He failed a bunch of times. I feel like that's this team.
Yep.
I feel like Nicole's gonna do a good job, gonna carry the team, and Vic's just gonna try not to screw up. And one's good at these games, one's not, and it's pretty clear that the one who ate 40 pieces of freaking wood is not very good at the game. So we'll see what happens going forward, but I'm not jumping for joy about this team by any means. But we'll see. Again, they could be. I think Victor Arroyo is going to be quite the dodo as well. Him and Rupert should hang out for the game. Next on the list, team.
Brett and Chris.
Yeah, so team number 6 on the Power Kings, Brett and Chris. I have them here. I wanted to put them higher. I really did, but they didn't. I feel like they had the physical strength to do well. I think they have a great bond. They're friends. They're not going to fight. They're not going to do anything stupid. But Brett missed the clue. It was sitting right there.
Yep.
He went right, climbed to the top of the thing, sat there and didn't do anything. So it was tough. I don't think he. I think they're struggling. I think they're going to continue to struggle, and we'll see. But I think here's the thing. I think they can do okay. I think they had the physical strength. I don't know how their sense of direction is. They didn't do a good job of that this time. I don't know how their attention to detail is. Again, they didn't do a very good job of this one either. But I think physically, at least Chris can handle the challenges. Chris is a friggin' tank. Brett's a little bit, out of shape, but he's okay. And they, if there's something with charisma and charm and stuff like that, they'll be great. But and physically, Chris can do it. But they didn't have great sense of direction. Didn't have great awareness this episode. And read the clue. Every season somebody gets eliminated. Don't read the clue, or they walk by the damn the sign,
or they miss the box or the sign.
Right, as Ruby did twice. But as I said, so the Survivors didn't crush it this week by any means. But I do think Brett and Chris are a formidable team. I think they struggled. They're gonna have to figure it out, and just pay more attention to detail instead of get flustered. Chris said it. This race doesn't stop. It's you get the rest period in between, but you have to make way quicker decisions than they do in Survivor. Survivor, you have all day to make your decisions. Yep. On this, it's quick. So if they can adjust to that, they'll be great. So they have the physical strength to do it, and they'll be in good shape. But it's a matter of can they, when all hell's breaking loose, things are flying around, bullets are flying, can they make that quick decision and make the right decision and not miss little things? So we'll see about that. Next team I had was at the 5th spot.
Team Fun.
Team Fun, yeah. So I put Team Fun here.
Becca and Floyd.
Becca and Floyd, yeah, they're back. Hopefully they're drinking plenty of water this time, as Phil asked. They're drinking water. I think they are going to be okay. They
better be okay. I picked them to win.
Right, and so I think they're a good team. I think they're a fun team. They are Team Fun, and they again they have a good bond. They don't seem to take the race too seriously, which is a good thing because it's the race is designed to upset you and get you flustered and pissed off, and they're not getting flustered and pissed off. So I think they're gonna be okay. I think they'll be good. I think they'll learn from the mistakes from last time and just not just physically stay up on it. Don't get too dehydrated. Don't get run down. Take enough time to rest and that kind of stuff. They don't. The good thing is they don't take the race too seriously. The bad thing is they don't take it too seriously. So it might be a bad thing too. But I think it's having that lighthearted fun. I think will be better for them long term because they're not gonna sweat the small stuff. They might get a little bit mad at each other here and there, but the teams who work best together do the best.
Yep.
On Amazing Race, and I think Team Fun had the experience. They don't sweat the small stuff. If they can physically handle the challenges, then I think they'll be great. And I think that's it's going to be a matter of how well can they handle the challenges because we know they're going to get along. They're not going to have blow-ups and huge fights. It's just to be a matter of what are they going to do? Are they going to hold it together? And are they going to be physically able to endure the whole race? Next up on the list, we have for Team 4,
Rachel and Alyssa.
Yeah, so one half Team Brenchel, the Chul of Team Brenchel, and her sister Alyssa. It's hard to say how this team's going to do. It really is, because Rachel is, played the Amazing Race twice, played Big Brother twice. She got the Final Three twice, and that was with Brendan. Brendan has kept her from melting. Well, pulled her back after she melted down, because she melted down every season, but kind of reeled her back in after she melted down. So my question is Alyssa going to be able to keep her? Is going to be able to get her back on track after she melts down, or better yet, will she be able to keep Rachel from melting down? That's what Alyssa said. She says, I know her longer. I know what makes her tick. Hopefully, her plan is to keep Rachel from melting down. If she can do that, they got a good shot. If not, and she does melt down, can Alyssa get her back on track? Because physically they both are in good shape. They both can do it. The question is, they're both can be pretty scatterbrained. Will they, miss opportunities? Will they miss clues? Will they, make mistakes that are costly to their game? So we'll find out. But for now, we have them here at that spot. Any other thoughts on this team?
Pretty much covered it.
Cool. Who is team 3 on our power ranking here?
Tyler and Corey.
Yes, your buddies, Tyler and Corey. What do you think about Tyler and Corey? How they do this week?
They had a good strong run, and hopefully it can continue.
For sure. They started off not great. I mean, they took a while to find the first clue, but that's why they're here in my third spot, because the way I factor it in, right? If bad luck happens, which it's gonna, how do you recover? And they had bad luck. They just were digging a spot where they couldn't find the clue. That's not really any. That doesn't take really any skill to dig through the castle to find the clue, right? So once they had some bad luck, how do they recover? This team's again a very fun-loving team. They don't sweat
because there were only a certain number of clues at each location, the restaurant and the other place. Yeah,
so they were looking for it. And they took them. Yeah, they went to the spot. They couldn't find it. They got bad luck. They couldn't find it. They dig through the octopus, couldn't find it. Stuff like that. So it's a matter of a lot of it is luck. Getting to where you gotta get to. And with these guys, when they have they didn't have a single bad leg really their first season until the last leg. Then they had a bunch of bad luck all at once. So I feel like if they got some bad luck here and they got it all the way, they still finished strong, and that they're a strong team because they have things that happen. They have mistakes that come up. They have bad luck, and if they handle the bad luck, I think they'll be just fine because they're a strong enough team to overcome that bad luck. And I think that's something that we can
as exercised in the last season they were in
for sure. So again, I think if they handle the business, they don't get too down, which they don't seem to be the kind of team who's going to get down or upset. I think they can. They're good enough in the race if they can avoid mistakes, avoid bad luck, and overcome the bad luck when they get it. I think they'll be fine. So that's why I put them here because you can't really control bad luck, but it's how you bounce back from it. I think they did great this week. So that's why I have them here in the third spot. Number 2 on the power ranking is the Afghanimals, Leo and Jamal. Now again, it might seem weird that they won the leg, but they're in second. Well, why? Well, I think they're a strong team. I've seen them race the race twice, So I don't know if they're again now they're older, now they have more to fight for, but also they're older, And I don't know if.
But everybody's older.
Everybody's older. It's true, and they're I think they are, maybe one of the younger teams still on the race. It's, other than Team Fun. Team Fun's all like 12-year-olds. But in general, I think. They have some good. They are. I feel like they're a high variance team. That's why I put them second. That's why I didn't put them number 1. I feel like they could go out and they can be eliminated next week by making stupid decisions. I've seen it. I've seen it twice. They went out. They rocked. They won a couple legs and then they just fell flat on their face and were abysmal. So we'll see. I don't want to put them. I don't want to crown them. The top team of the week yet, just because they had a good week, but I want to see consistently. And so that means that the team number 1,
but something to build on because it's only week 1.
It's only week 1. So if they are going to rip off 3 or 4 weeks where they are in the top 2 and 3, I'll change my mind about them for sure. And they're second. It's not like they're last. But I think they have a good start, and we'll see where it goes from there. But good start for them for sure. if they can be consistent, they're a formidable team. Absolutely. Lastly, team number 1, our top team of the week is
Colin and Christy.
Yeah, so that team, the Life Partners, I put them here. I don't know. I feel like they're parents now. They're a little bit older again, but again, they had the most well-rounded overall game. They didn't have any highs or lows. They played well. They did well in the challenges. They were good the first season, and they're even better now, I think. They're very chill. They don't let things bother them. And I think they're in a good spot prime to win this whole thing as of week 1, which means absolutely nothing. A lot is going to happen. But again, I also see like they're not going to be a team that's really going to jump out and make a lot of noise. Like Tyler and Tyler Oakley and Corey Cool, I can see them being, out in front, loud, and people are like, let's just knock them out because they're annoying. Some people I think they're fantastic.
Pull a U-turn.
Right.
Pull a U-turn on
right. I just don't see Colin and Christy doing that. I think you feel like they're just kind of going to stick to themselves, not really bother anybody, and before you know it, it's the final 5, and they're still in there, and they're in a good spot. So that's where I see them. Again, who knows? It's way too early to say anything, but for right now, that's what I got. Mr. Beback, before we wrap up for the week, a good premiere, fun episode. Again, we want to stick around 25 minutes to a half hour on the Amazing Race stuff here. Not to go too far down the rabbit hole. There's not a lot of strategy to talk about. Nobody getting voted out or anything like that. But I feel like we look at the team so far. Got a good start to the week. Good start to the season. Glad it's on instead of the LeBron crap.
That makes 2 of us.
Any other thoughts on this before we wrap up for the week?
Can't wait for week 2.
Sounds great. We'll see who's gonna be on the show this going forward. Hopefully, Mr. Beback can be on as much as possible, and we'll have other guests sprinkled in throughout as well. The two of us and a third person, or just myself and somebody else, or whoever can take the reins. We'll be excited about it, not Roman Reigns, and we'll go ahead and see how it goes. But so far, so good. A good start to the season. I'm pumped to see what's going to happen next. It's good that we know most of these characters already, from Amazing Race, from Survivor. Yep. So it's cool that we can kind of not have to learn these teams. We already kind of know. So we'll see how it goes. But as we wrap up here, feel free to subscribe. Get all the updates. Comment. Share the video. Tell your friends. Likes on Facebook. Pavement Productions. Email the show. Let us know what your thoughts are. pavementproductions@gmail.com. And, subscribe. Tweet me at YoGrabAGabba. And other than that, I think that's all I have. Anything else from you?
No.
All right. I think that's it. So, until next week, safe travels.